Hey, Joe Biden's old. Chances are he won't get any younger between now and Election Day. So what are the Democrats going to do about it? In this video, we're going to talk about what the game plan is for the Democratic Party to make you not think about how old Joe Biden really is. And we're going to point out to you how this is crazy. My name's Tim Black, and this is Calling It Out. So Senator Coons is out of Delaware, and he was on the George Stephanopoulos show where he was surrogating or promoting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He was asked some questions about Joe Biden, and he did his best to toe the line.
As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
I mean, he's holding a press conference to push back against this notion that his memory's gone, and he's confusing the president of Egypt with the president.
Right. Jonathan, you've been at this a long time. As you well know, small gaffes are a part of what all of us in public life do. Speaker Johnson of the House just confused Iran and Israel. He said, we are beginning to send aid to Iran. Donald Trump confused Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley. Here's what matters.
This right here is one of the most frustrating aspects of talking about the Democratic Party. When you want to evaluate them based on the merits, they start moving the goalposts. Folks, the whole purpose of the Joe Biden prepared remarks at this press conference is he wanted to push back against allegations that were made in the special counsel's report that said that he has a horrible memory, that he is old, okay? And what does he do? He comes out and he mixes up the president of Egypt with the president of Mexico. That's like saying, if people say, Tim Black, you curse too much in your content. And then I do a special video where I prepare what I'm going to say. And I come out to you and I say, I don't cuss too damn much. Y'all mother don't know nothing about my content. I'm always able to control my damn language. What would you think? See, the whole purpose of the press conference was for Joe Biden to make people feel better about him. To show, hey man, I got this. So what, I'm older, but I got this. And he comes out and he puts his foot in it, man. He steps right into a big pile of cow dump in front of everybody. In this episode, Senator Coons has his work cut out for him because there's more.
This was not just one moment in the 12-minute press conference. I mean, take a look at what we saw just recently, a handful of other events. Take a look, a few more.
There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas. I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me.
I mean, you know, Mitterrand, whether he's from Germany or France, obviously he's from France, but he's been dead for 25 years. I mean, there are a number of these incidents, and they may be gassed. We all make mistakes. But this is what the American public is seeing, and it's raised concerns. Our poll shows over 80% responding, saying that they think that Biden is too old to serve as president again.
This is not good. It's bad. It's Michael Jackson bad. Don't get it twisted, guys. I understand that if this was the Republican Party, they wouldn't exactly be owning up to the fact that their guy was past it, okay? Neither party is going to admit whatever because both parties want to maintain power. I get that. Here's the thing, though, guys. It's too obvious. It can't be. You can't sugarcoat it. And what they're going to continue to do is throw us under the bus. See, the latest talking points are that voters are falling for misinformation, particularly black voters. Black voters are letting Russians confuse them.
Well, we have to compete with misinformation, disinformation. We have a different world to operate in today than we had before. And we all know that. We know what happened to Hillary Clinton. We know what happened last year with all of the disinformation that took place. And that's what we are competing with.
These people do not make sense. Russia did not make Joe Biden 81 years old. His mama and his daddy did. Go out and play this number. The number is 86. 86% is the number of Americans that feel that Joe Biden is too old to be president again. And you know what? Russia didn't do it. Don't get it twisted. Once again, there are a number of Americans that feel the same way about Donald Trump. I saw the number was like in the mid-60s. 60-something% of Americans feel Donald Trump is too old to be president. Both these guys are too old to be president. You know you're really too old when people are looking at a 70-year-old RFK Jr. and a 70-year-old Dr. Cornel West and thinking, those are the kids that should be running this country. What does that tell you? Now, to call it straight, I'm not saying Democrats won't come out and vote for Joe Biden. What I'm saying is the voting is going to be down. It's going to depress the vote on the Democratic side. And that's the last thing Democrats need. Last thing they need is to depress the vote. People are already depressed to vote. America's already too depressed. Our politics is making us more depressed. All right, let's go back to Coons and see what Coons will say about this. I'm sure he has a strong rebuttal.
Joe Biden and Donald Trump and most elected officials make small gaffes just like the ones you just showed. That's not what matters. We are in a fight for the soul of our nation, and the idea that somehow Joe Biden forgot the date of his son's death is offensive and appalling. And what you should be focused on, in my view, what that poll should have focused on, what our nation should focus on,
can I stop
is
you
the
for a
ways
second,
that
though, because
Donald Trump is undermining rule of law, democracy, and our safety as a nation.
There's nothing to say there, is it? Had to change subjects. He couldn't answer straight up. Because what are you going to say? Wow. Hey, Coons, whatever they're paying you, sir, it's not enough. He's got to come out and defend the indefensible. Pop is gone, and it is what it is. He had his time in the sun. I thought Joe Biden said he wasn't going to run for a second term. I thought Joe Biden said he was coming here to do a job to stop Trump, and he did that. Now, what's going on, man? Yeah, he came in under false pretenses. And now all we got is a bunch of Democrats running around, pointing fingers at voters and saying voters are being hoodwinked and bamboozled. Nah, Joe Biden hoodwinked us. The Democratic Party bamboozled us. They're the ones that led us to believe that Joe Biden was just going to run for one term and then he was going to bounce out. And now just the fact that no one has trust, or very few people, I'll say some, very few, not no one, there's some people who are delusional, but most people don't trust Kamala Harris. Can I say that? I don't think most people feel good about Kamala Harris being president. So that's part of the problem. There is no successor to pass the baton of lying corporate Democrats on to. Who's going to get a baton to? I mean, Dean Phillips is out there raising Cain, but who's this guy?
I was the first Democrat in July of 2022 to publicly call on the president to pass the torch. He implied he would only serve one term, of course. I think he should be putting both his own legacy and the country, most importantly, ahead. And I think he's making the wrong decision for both by running again. I've been making that contention, much to the chagrin of my colleagues, as you well know.
What are you going to do? Give it to Marianne Williamson? Moon rocks? That ain't going to happen. They got no one to give it to. No one to give it to who's as powerful enough to stop Donald Trump. Face it, Donald Trump is a rare breed. You got a guy that when you charge him with felonies, he becomes more popular. He's like a rapper. He's the 50 Cent of politics. The more shots he takes, the bigger he gets. The only hope the Democratic Party has is if they lock Trump up. And the only hope that Trump has is not getting locked up and getting reelected so he doesn't get locked up. So basically, he's got to get president or die trying.